So far we have discussed customs procedures. Under section 29 to 51. Section 29 to 51, these were the procedures we discussed. And in its sequence, section 56, 52 to 56 relating to transit and transshipment. Transit and transshipment, these are under section 52 to 56. So we discussed this. Transit and transshipment. We discussed the legal provisions regarding transit and transshipment and also procedural aspects involved in them. So very simple and easy topic. Transit and transshipment. What is transit and what is transshipment? Let's have transit and transshipment. Say a ship came to Mumbai port with say 1200 tons of product X. The ship came to Mumbai port with 1200 tons of product X, and the distribution is like this. At Mumbai port, it is to deliver say 700 tons. At Mumbai port, it has to deliver 700 tons, and 300 tons at Gujarat port, Kandla, 300 tons to be delivered at Gujarat port, Kandla, and 200 tons to be delivered at Chennai. So 7 plus 3 plus 2, this is the program. So the goods which are to be delivered at Mumbai are called imported goods or deliverable goods, and for them clearance takes place in Mumbai and duty is payable at Mumbai. Okay, and 300 tons are to be delivered at Gujarat. So the 300 tons are still in the ship itself, they are inside the ship only. These are called same bottom goods because they are not out of the ship, and they are also known as transit goods because they are in transit, because their destination is somewhere else. This is a temporary stay here, and after this the ship will go to this place and it will deliver the goods at Gujarat port. So these 300 tons are transit goods for Mumbai port. This port is transit port for the 300 tons, whereas for 700 tons this is a port of clearance. Okay, and at the same time these 200 tons, the remaining 200 tons, what it plans to do is there will be some other ship, say S2. So these 200 tons will be transferred, delivered to another ship, and this ship number 2 will reach and give delivery at Chennai. So S1, the original ship which came from some other country, is not going to reach it is simply transferring the 200 tons to another ship and the other ship is reaching this. So, the process of transfer of these 200 tons from this ship to this ship, this transfer is called transshipment. These goods which are transferred to another ship are called transshipped goods. The port at which such transfer is taking place is called port of transshipment. See, for the Mumbai port, there are three types of status. What are they? For 700 tons, Mumbai is a port of clearance. For 300 tons, Mumbai is a port of transit, because these 300 tons are still on the way, they are yet to reach their destination. And so, these 300 tons are transit goods for Mumbai, and the Mumbai port is transit port for 300 tons. Whereas, for the remaining 200 tons, Mumbai is a port of transshipment, because these 200 tons are transferred to another ship and the other ship is going to reach Chennai. So, here for these 200 tons, Mumbai is the port of transshipment. Okay? And what about the status of Kandla port and Chennai port? For the 300 tons, Kandla is the port of clearance, and for 200 tons, Chennai is the port of clearance, because clearing is taking place here. Clearance is taking place here. So, if you look at the port of clearance in all these three situations, for 700 tons, Mumbai is the port of clearance. For 300 tons, Kandla is the port of clearance. For 200 tons, Chennai is the port of clearance. And for all the three, Mumbai, here it is port of clearance. For 300 tons, it is port of transit. For 200 tons, it is port of transshipment. So, that is the concept. It is the concept of transit, transshipment and clearance. So, transit goods means goods which are staying at a particular port where their destination is somewhere else. So, they are still on their way to their destination. So, when the goods are in transit, goods are said to be in transit when their destination is somewhere else. These transit goods are also called same bottom goods. So, obviously, at the transit port, say these 300 tons are transit goods for Mumbai, at the transit port no duty is payable, but duty is payable at the port of clearance. Similarly, transshipped goods, goods which are transferred from one ship to another ship at a particular port are called transshipped goods, and the port at which such a transfer takes place is called port of transshipment. So, at port of transshipment, on transshipped goods no duty is payable, only at the port of clearance the duty is payable. So, for 200 tons, port of clearance is Chennai, so duty is payable here. For 300 tons, port of clearance is Kandla, so duty is payable here. So, let us look at this and we will have a better clarity. Say for example, here 700 tons, 300 tons and 200 tons. And here one is say Mumbai port and Kandla port and Chennai port, MKC. So, for 700 tons, Mumbai is the port of clearance. Mumbai is the port of clearance for 700 tons, and for Kandla and for Chennai there is no connection. They are not connected with these goods. And whereas for 300 tons, Mumbai, because at Mumbai goods are still lying in the ship, they are not out of ship, they are same bottom goods. You can say port of transit. They are in transit, they are on their way and simply halting at Mumbai. This is like a guest house. Mumbai is like a guest house for the 300 tons. Before they reach their home, they are staying at a guest house. Okay, this is port of transit. Mumbai is a port of transit for 300 tons, whereas these 200 tons are transferred at Mumbai from one ship to another ship. So, this is called port of transshipment. Mumbai is a port of transshipment for 200 tons. Mumbai is a port of transit for 300 tons. Mumbai is a port of clearance for 700 tons. Done? So, for these three, and the status has changed. But what about the 300 tons? These 300 tons are to be delivered at Kandla. So, this is port of clearance. Kandla is the port of clearance for the 300 tons. And Chennai has no connection whatsoever with this. And again, for 200 tons, Kandla has no connection whatsoever, but Chennai has connection. So, the Chennai has connection. This is port of clearance. Chennai is the port of clearance. So, if you see, these three are port of clearances for these. For 200 tons, this is port of clearance, 300 this, and 700 this. Okay. So, what is the significance of port of clearance? Duty is payable at the port of clearance. For 700 tons, duty is paid here. For 300 tons, duty is paid here. For 300 tons, duty is paid here. So, this is the story. So, these are ports and these are goods, cargo. This is deliverable cargo, this is deliverable cargo, this is deliverable cargo. The phenomena, this is transit and transshipment. Transit and transshipment, this is the phenomena. And here, let us look at the legal provisions. Under section 53, no duty is payable on transit goods at the transit port. Section 53. This chapter actually is not applicable to baggage, postal goods and stores. So, this is not applicable for baggage, this is not applicable for stores and also postal goods when you import or export by post. This is point number 1. Point number 2, no duty is payable on transit goods at the port of transit, which means here in this particular case 300 are transit goods, because the goods are still lying in the ship only, they are not brought out. So, no duty is payable on 300 tons at Mumbai, because they are only transit goods, just like a guest. And section 54 says, similarly, no duty is payable on transshipped goods also at a port of transshipment, which means on these 200 tons which are transshipped at Mumbai port, no duty is payable at Mumbai on these 200 tons. Okay? So, only duty is payable at the port of clearance, only on 700 tons duty is payable at Mumbai. Next point is transit or transshipment. Whether transit or transshipment is allowed, what are the conditions, what are the requirements for transit or transshipment? If some ship is going to reach a particular port, for that the goods shall not be prohibited goods. If you want to have a transit or transshipment, the goods shall not be prohibited goods. Point number 1. And number 2, the ship intending to, or aircraft, whatever it is, vehicle, whatever it is, intending to reach a particular port or customs station or airport, as the case may be, has to submit what is known as import manifest or import report, as the case may be. So, let us take the example of a ship, a vessel. So, import manifest has to be submitted before arrival, that is necessary, and the goods shall not be prohibited goods. And the customs department may allow only if the ship is not carrying prohibited goods. If they are prohibited goods, automatically they are not allowed to. So, This is the requirement, but extra requirement, though no duty is payable at the port of transit or transshipment, extra requirement is in case of, say, on transit and transshipment. As far as the transshipment is concerned, no duty is payable, no doubt, at the port of transshipment. But at the same time, there are certain formalities to be fulfilled, extra, additional. So, what are they? If any transshipment is required, number one, a bill of transshipment has to be submitted. Here, a bill of transshipment, or alternatively a declaration. When India has a bilateral agreement with other countries, then declaration is enough. For example, India has an agreement with Sri Lanka. If a Sri Lankan ship comes to India, instead of bill of transshipment, declaration may be sufficient. With a declaration, it can be accepted. Similarly, when the Indian ship goes to Sri Lanka and when transshipment takes place there also they will allow without bill of transshipment with the help of declaration. So, whether declaration or bill of transshipment, as the case may be, that is to be submitted here. So, with all the details of quantity, what is the quantum of goods that are being transshipped, to which ship they are going to transship, all these details, and the proper officer will come there, and in the presence of the proper officer this job takes place. Okay. But if this second ship, the transfer ship, happens to land in an Indian port, extra precautions may be taken. They may ask for a bond. See, you are about to go to Chennai. So, what is the guarantee that you will reach Chennai? You submit a bond here and you go then, and when you reach there and get the goods delivered and get a certificate from Chennai customs officer that goods have been successfully delivered here, and submit the certificate here, obtain a certificate from Chennai customs officer, and you submit here and get the bond released. So, this formality is there when the transfer ship is going to deliver goods in an Indian port. Suppose it is to go to a foreign port. Suppose the ship is going to give delivery in Colombo or Sri Lanka, then these formalities are not necessarily. Simply proper officer will be watching, and sealing etc. if necessary will make, and only transshipment charges will be collected and go as you wish. But if the ship is to reach an Indian port, these extra precautions, that there should be no revenue loss. So, like this, extra precaution, extra formality, bill of transshipment or declaration is necessary in addition to import manifest, and proper officer will be there, under his supervision this transshipment takes place. Not only that, the transshipment facility is not available in each and every port, whereas for transit there is no such restriction. Anywhere in any port transit may be possible, because in transit there is no activity, simply ship is there and halting there. So, take the case of an aircraft. For aircraft, transshipment facility normally is available in major international airports like Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, etc. Not everywhere. Transshipment facility is not available easily. So, like this, these things are to be taken care of. So, what is common is, both in case of transit and transshipment, import manifest is necessary, and in both the cases they are not allowed if they carry prohibited goods. Number 2, no duty is payable at the port of transit or transshipment. Actually, the duty is payable at the port of clearance, not at the port of transit or transshipment. So, these are the common features, and sometimes land route, goods may be passing through land route, that may be allowed. Maybe sometimes you are passing through Indian territory from Pakistan to Bangladesh.